A reminder that if you do need Spanish interpretation today, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen and select Spanish. If you need ASL interpretation, our ASL interpreter is spotlighted and you will be able to see her throughout the presentation. Welcome everybody to tonight's Family Technology webinar. We're so happy that you are able to join us. Tonight we're going to be talking about digital citizenship for elementary school. That is grades kinder through 6th. My name is Larissa Pineda. I'm an instructional services specialist with the Department of Innovation and Learner Engagement, and I'm going to be your host for the webinar this evening. We have a very special panelist who is joining us. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hello, RUSD families. My name is Glay Koenig, and I am a teacher on special assignment in the Innovation and Learner Engagement Department here with RUSD. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am excited to be here, and I am excited to share with you some of the great things that are going on in the digital citizenship lessons with our elementary RUSD students.
Thank you so much, Glay. We're excited to have you here. Tonight, Glay is going to be telling us what digital citizenship is. She will review the topics that are covered in our elementary digital citizenship lessons, and she will be sharing some resources with you. It's always nice to have some extra tools to help support our students. At the end of her presentation, we will have time for questions and answers. So if you have a question, please let us know by using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. It's the 2 word bubbles that say Q&A, and she will be happy to answer those questions at the end of the evening. I'm going to go ahead and let her get started.
Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to start this evening by defining what digital citizenship actually is. Digital citizenship is the responsible use of technology, where we learn, we create, and we participate using that technology. Digital citizenship is also a way of thinking, it's a way of being, and it's a way of acting when we are online. Digital citizenship is also thinking critically. We all know that we see things on the internet and we can't always believe what we see and we hear. So it's teaching our kids how to think critically to help them determine which is accurate information and which isn't. We also talk about keeping them safe and being safe, not sharing information, not sharing passwords, and really trying to get to know who it is that you're engaging with when you are online to make sure that our students are safe. Digital citizenship is also about acting responsibly. This is very important in how we communicate and how we behave online. So I want to begin by providing you with the objectives that RUSD has identified. RUSD identifies that students will effectively, efficiently, and ethically use digital media and technology to allow them to communicate with each other, to create things, and to collaborate with each other. This is known as the 3 E's within RUSD. Digital citizenship also provides students with 21st century learning skills. And you might be asking yourself, what are 21st century skills? Those are skills that require students to understand information that's around them. They need to know how to think critically. They need to be creative. They need to learn how to collaborate, and they need to effectively communicate with one another. And this is important in life skills as well as digital skills. So these are identified as 21st century learning skills, which is going to help carry our students into their futures when they enter the job force. Sometimes we also hear about the 4 C's, which they're referenced to, and these are learning skills. And again, you'll hear this repeated over and over throughout the presentation, because it's really important for our students to understand that they need to be able to think critically, they need to be creative, they need to collaborate with others around them, and they need to effectively communicate with one another. These are our universal skills. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the topics that are covered in the digital citizenship lessons that are provided to our students. These lessons are, the 6 topics are covered both from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. However, the way that they are presented and the information within each of these topic areas changes based upon the grade level. So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the difference between what a 2nd grade lesson looks like and a 6th grade lesson, so that you guys can get some comparisons between the two. All right, so go ahead and let's go to our next slide. Very good. So the first topic that we're going to cover is media, balance, and well-being. And we all know that this is really important when we think about our own digital lives. While our habits online can be positive, they can be negative, or they can be both. It's just about bringing awareness to our students about the habits that they have, but also for us as adults, how we model that behavior for our students. It's just about that balance in our life. You know, it's a way of exploring the impact that we have. It's about their well-beings. It's about the relationships that they create. And again, the balance, because we all know that our students can be impacted positively when they're online, and it can also happen negatively. So it's just about showing them skills and being able to recognize when things may not be going the way that they planned or the way that they wanted. All right, so when we talk about the next topic, we're going to be looking at privacy and security. And that's really learning for them to care about everyone's privacy. So we want to be aware that it introduces students to the concept of online privacy and the potential implications if they're sharing private information with a range of people. When we share our information online, we try to share things with our friends, but sometimes things get shared in the public and through apps. And so we want them to be aware of what that is like and ways that they can protect themselves when they want to share information and have those healthy relationships online. We also want to make them aware of potential risks and ways that they can keep themselves safe so that they don't end up having any sort of potentially harmful consequences, like identity theft or, when they get older, financial exploitation. Students learn how to protect themselves with that information. They gain a deeper understanding of their data privacy rights, and they can also advocate for themselves and others. All right, and the next topic that we look at is digital footprints and identity. And these lessons are centered around the idea that we define who we are. Digital footprints and identity lessons empower the students to again, determine who they are and empower themselves for things that they want to share. So let's talk about what is a digital footprint. A digital footprint is a record of what you do online, and that includes the sites that you visit all the way to the things that you share. So every time that you go to a site, every time that you share something, it creates a footprint. And so it's just teaching the students that we have these footprints, or for the younger students, it's referred to as a trail. So it's really just making them aware of what they do online basically leaves these little footprints on where they go. Digital footprint and the identity topic also asks students to consider the benefits and the risks of sharing things that are online. We like to talk about exploring the different digital personas and how it can affect one's sense of themselves, how it impacts their reputation, but also how it affects their relationships with others through these footprints that they leave and the communications that we have with others. Okay, so earlier I referenced comparing a second grade lesson to a sixth grade lesson. And this is a couple of screenshots from a second grade lesson. Here in RUSD, we utilized Commonsense media to help us create our lessons, or actually they create the lessons for us. And this is a great website, which I'm going to share with you all later. So within this second grade lesson, the students begin by looking at their objective question, and that is, what information is okay to have on your digital footprint? So for our second grade students, here are some of the things that we make sure that they understand they're not supposed to be sharing. Obviously, we don't want our students sharing their full name, their address, their birth dates, their telephone numbers, all of those things, the schools that they go to. So it's really teaching the students, you have this footprint and the things that you share can allow others to find you. So it's really showing them, don't share these things, but then here are also some examples of things that you can share. Now let's go ahead and compare that to a lesson taught by sixth grade, or to our sixth graders. The learning objectives for our sixth graders within the digital footprint and identity lessons focuses on reflecting on reasons why people create fake social media accounts, identifying possible results for posting things on a fake social media account, and then debating the benefits and the drawbacks of posting things on multiple accounts. So while the lessons fall under the same topic of a digital footprint and identity, you can see that the lessons are very different when you look from a second grade perspective over to a sixth grade perspective. And again, the main focus of all of these lessons is really teaching our students how to be safe, number one, and obviously to how to communicate with each other and be effective and responsible with others as well. Okay, so the next topic that we discuss are relationships and communication. And this is probably actually all of them are pretty powerful lessons, but this is another great one because it's teaching them to understand the power of their words online and their actions. And so we really focus on identifying their role in those lessons and what they can do to make sure that they're communicating effectively and using and choosing powerful words. Okay, so thank you. These lessons really teach students on how to reflect about creating those positive relationships, avoiding risky talk online, understanding why some topics of conversations are better to stay offline. And we want them to also recognize that they belong to various communities and that it's important for students' developments that some online communities might be healthier, than others, and that these lessons really show our students how to strengthen both their relationships online and offline through the communication skills that they gain. Okay, and the next topic that we talk about in this series is news and media literacy. Students learn how to identify credible and trustworthy sources. They also reflect on their responsibilities as thoughtful media creators and consumers. So it's really showing them, again, those critical thinking skills that we referenced in the beginning, and also about how to be creative online. So as we know, it is essential for our students to think critically. This applies to news media and as well as other sources of media that they interact with every single day. Students will learn to demonstrate, the ability to identify, to evaluate, and use information that they do get through news and other media sources to understand what is beneficial, what is effective, what is trustworthy, and then also giving proper credit when we take information from these websites. They will learn how individuals and how our society are influenced by media, and that misrepresentations and stereotypes are sometimes promoted. So again, it's getting them to put that hat on, those critical thinking skills, and learning, is this a credible source? Is this a reliable source? Is this something that I should maybe look into a little bit further? So again, it's building those critical thinking skills for our students. And then also, our students will reflect about their responsibility and their right when they are communicating and being creators of things that they are going to share on an online space. And the final topic that we cover is cyberbullying and digital drama. And again, this really goes back to our communication skills. This is really important that we help them focus on how it is to be kind and how it is to be creative when we are working online. Students take on these tough topics and they play active roles as an upstander to build positive, supportive relationships in their online communities, but also to help to combat the cruelty that can occur online. We look at the digital citizenship lessons, and really they feel and they teach us that the best solution to cyberbullying is teaching our kids how to be good digital citizens. You guys are already doing a great job at teaching your kids how to be good humans at home, but there is that added layer that kids need to be aware of when they're behind a keyboard or on a screen, about how important it is to continue to be those kind humans when you are working online. It is so easy for kids to be mean and to say horrible things when you're not facing each other. So it's really reminding them that even though you may not be face to face with someone, the kind of communication that you do behind a screen should be the same as it would be when you are face to face. It's important for them to remember the basic thing that we are all part of a community, and we will all want to put good into the world. And so we want to make sure that we are being a force of good and putting as much positivity out there as we possibly can. So as we started with earlier this evening, we talked about the objectives that RUSD identifies. And so just to make those connections throughout this presentation, you heard me say over and over again about trustworthiness, creatively thinking, being responsible. And so again, to make those connections, we want our students to identify the credible and trustworthy sources. We want them to reflect on their responsibilities as being media creators as well as media consumers. So now we'll go into some resources that we have for you. One of the things about using digital media a lot nowadays is that our kids sometimes overuse it. And I'm sure you all know, as parents, we have that concern about our kids' desires to want to be online and do all these things all the time. So I just wanted to share with you guys some signs of overusage. And that is, you may get inappropriate or oversized reactions when you're asking your child to turn that device off. And this goes back to the lessons that we share about balance. We also, one of the other signs is headaches, trouble sleeping, sadness, isolation, and a lack of focus or energy. I think that this image here on this page is something that we've all seen our kids do, where they're just looking fatigued and tired, and yet that piece is still in front of their faces. So it's just being aware of these signs. I believe that Larissa is going to put a link. There is a great article that I have connected, and she's going to enter that into the chat so that if you wanted to take some time and get some information on signs of overusage, it will be there for you as well.
And Glay, I will also post all of the resources on our RUSD website for families if they would like to go back and explore those in depth.
Yes, and I did also forget to mention that when we were talking about the cyberbullying, we do have a great video from one of our SAP counselors. And so that is another video that provides some great resources for, signs of it, ways to handle it. And so that will also be found on the website as well. Okay, and the next resource that I would like to share with you is these are 2 quick tip videos on signs of social media and mental health. And, given that our kids, again, are online so often, these are great resources, again, for tips for helping you balance the benefit and the risks of being online, and different signs for concern and ways to preempt them, and as well as seek out help if necessary. So again, these are sources that are going to be on our RUSD website. And then the next piece that we have is there is actually an app that you can download on your phone. And it is designed for parents with children for the age of 3 to 8 years old. So all you do is text to the number 21555, and you're going to text the word kids. And when you get your response and you add the app, it actually allows you to choose whatever language that you're in. It has both Spanish as well as English. And it provides great resources because there's constantly new games coming out. There's constantly new movies coming out. And all you have to do is go in and search either the name of the game or the name of the movie, and it will break it down for you, and it will tell you, basically, give you an overview of what the game is about, what the movie is about. And it will say, there's so many inappropriate words, or, this is inappropriate content. Or on the other side, it may also give you the benefits of watching the movie or playing that game. So this is another great resource for you if you have young children at home and you're a little bit concerned about things that they might be consuming or things that they might be playing. And that's just the Spanish version of the app. So our Spanish families can also take advantage of that. And then, Larissa, if you wouldn't mind opening this tab, I would like to take you all to the Commonsense Media website and show you some of the great advantages of going to this website. It is a free website, and there are tabs there for parents and families. There are articles, there are videos, there's all kinds of things. So again, this is a wonderful free resource for you. As you can see, this is just our main page here, and it shows you different pieces. If you click on there you go, the movie and TV, it'll provide you with, best movie titles and that kind of thing. It will also give you a preview. It'll give you ratings. There's videos. Okay, thank you, Larissa. Okay. And then same thing with books and apps. Larissa, do you mind clicking on the next tab there where it says parents need to know? There you go, click right there. Thank you so much. Okay, so as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Again, one thing I want to mention is Commonsense Media has done a great job. It also provides the majority of this information in Spanish as well. So you can see that tab is there. But again, it helps you break down, the age group of your kids, what some of the concerns you might be having, and it provides resources to you to help address any concerns that you might be having. But also it will provide you with knowledge and information, Minecraft, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those things that our kids are engaging with these days. All right, thank you, Larissa.
Thank you, Glay. Was there anything else you wanted me to point out on the website before we go back to the presentation?
No, I just encourage families to, take advantage of this free resource. It's great. It's constantly updated. It'll provide you with links to things. So it is just a great resource, and I encourage you to take advantage of it. And that is about all I have at this point. So Larissa, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you in case we have any questions that are in the chat.
Thank you, Glay, so much for that information. I know I definitely appreciate the Commonsense Media site as I navigate raising my own child and the apps that she is learning about. Families, if you have any questions for Glay, either about Commonsense Media and some of the resources that are there, or about our digital citizenship lessons that students engage in here in RUSD, please let us know using the Q&A button at the, I believe it's at the bottom of your screen. But it's the Q&A word bubble, and we will be happy to answer those questions. Glay, would you mind just sharing with families how students work through these lessons? Is this something that they're doing with their teacher each week, or something that they do independently?
That's a great question. It really depends upon the teacher. In our department, we have designed lessons where the teachers can actually push it out to the students to do in the Google Classroom, where they can complete them independently, or they have the option to complete them as a whole class. So it really depends on how the teacher likes to present the information, or how, it really is up to the teacher. So it can be done independently, or it can be done as a whole group, either one.
Thank you. And we have a couple of additional questions.
Great.
Is Commonsense Media free for all kids?
Yes, it's actually a free resource. It is. It's 100% free. So help yourself. The app that I referenced a few minutes ago is also another great free resource. So please take advantage of it. And they also do on the website, which is great. They will provide links to, like I mentioned earlier, to articles, but sometimes if there's other sites that has valuable information, those links will also be included there as well.
Great, thank you. Our next question, and I can address this one. Where are we at with providing Goguardian to all teachers so our children can be monitored in the classroom? That is something I don't know a timeline of. My best suggestion would be to contact your child's school site to find out more about that. I unfortunately do not have an answer to when that would be available to all teachers. Are there any specific consequences in the classroom for kids performing poor digital citizenship?
That's a great question. Again, that will be site-based on how how the principal responds to that. But also, I think it really depends on the content of what the inappropriate behavior is. So really depending upon, again, what the behavior was, the teacher may handle it. If it's something that they are truly concerned about, it may go up to the principal. And then obviously parents will be contacted after that. So it really is handled by school sites.
Thank you. Our next question, this is a great one. Is there any website that can help kids that might be victims of cyberbullying?
Oh, that's a great question. First of all, I would encourage whomever asked the question to go to their website and start by watching the video that was provided by our SAP counselor, because he actually has some great discussions and some great information. The next thing I would suggest is to please go directly to the teacher. If the teacher is not aware, we really need to bring that to light. And then also go to the principal. Really, we need to get those things addressed. If your student is not comfortable with that, most school sites do have a SAP counselor, so that is another option for your student to go to as well. Really, the biggest thing is bringing it to light to someone so that it can be addressed. So I think it really depends upon your student's comfort level. Who are they comfortable with? But I think in an elementary age level, the parent can go straight to the teacher or straight to the principal. It really depends on your preference.
Thank you, Glay. Our next question, where on the district website are these resources that you have mentioned? If you go to our district technology website, which is bit.ly/RUSD-FAM21, the resources are on that page. They are under the Family Technology Webinars tab. And you'll scroll down and you will see resources. And we have the video that our SAP counselor made that addresses cyberbullying. And then also Glay put all of her resources into a slide deck. And you can click on the hyperlinks and go directly to those resources that she mentioned. And then as Glay mentioned, it is always a good idea to be in contact with your student's teacher and administrators. And also if they need some additional support, to contact one of the SAP counselors to help provide them with some additional support if they are going through a challenging time. So lots of resources available to our students. So thank you, families. Those were some great questions, and we always enjoy getting feedback and questions from our families. So thank you for those. We really appreciate them. We do have a couple more minutes, so if there are any last minute questions, please feel free to reach out and ask those. I did want to let you know about our next webinar. Glay will be back in a couple of weeks to talk about digital citizenship for secondary students. So she'll be addressing some of those issues that would be affecting our students in grades 7 through 12, as well as looking at the content of those digital citizenship lessons in middle and high school. And that will be November 9th at 5:30 p.m. You can /family tech 11/9. And I will be updating the website with some information on that webinar as well.
And I also mentioned that we will have a live SAP counselor with us at that next session. So there will be a SAP counselor that questions can be directed to her as well.
Yes, thank you, Glay. That is a great reminder. So any of these more sensitive topics that you would like to have addressed, she will be happy to answer those. If there are no additional questions, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. We know that you have very busy lives and lots of things going on. We appreciate you spending some time with us this evening to learn some additional strategies for supporting your students. Please reach out to us if there's any thing we can do to assist you. And please make sure to check out those resources. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.